Aisha, it's wonderful to have you here. It was
Hi.
great meeting you last night. Tell me a little bit about your organization.
So I run an organization called Black Women Walk. And the premise of Black Women Walk is that when Black women walk, things change.
Okay, expand.
Isn't that self-explanatory? No, so there were several things that were happening in my life because of my political views, several things in my personal life. Like I shared earlier with you, I had a friend that passed away and wouldn't even allow me to know she was dying.
And this was because she knew that you were a supporter of the president,
Right.
and she took issue with that.
Yes, so we were fine during the primaries. We were absolutely fine during the primaries. After Trump won, she just lost her mind. And obviously, I was thumping from Trump for the jump. I knew he was going to be president before he took it seriously. And so I was consistently posting. I was never an Obama supporter. And we always managed to be friends. But after Trump won, she immediately deleted me on all social media. So that's basically how they kill you, I guess. They delete you on social media, block you on their phone, and now you're dead to them.
Why do you think she did that?
I think that it wasn't in her control. And so then this is where we start talking about my religious beliefs. I personally believe that we are in a fight, a spiritual warfare for our nation. And the devil is pulling out every stop that he can. And with my movement, what I'm doing right now with Black Women Walk, if I had allowed the devil to, the pain that was caused for me by losing that relationship, if I had allowed the devil to quiet my voice, then I would not be doing the work that I am doing right now that's benefiting our nation and that's benefiting our president. So the reason I think that those of us that are being attacked so strongly by our personal relationships, it's the devil. He's coming at us because he knows we're going to be effective and he doesn't want us to. And it hurts. It absolutely hurts when you're, like, she passed away. As long as Trump is my president, I cannot see her children, is what she said on her deathbed. But here's the reality of what I know about my movement. The reason that I call it When Black Women Walk, Things Change is because if you look at the trajectory of our, if you look back in the past of our nation's history, you think about the amazing African American women who stood up and took a step and changed the trajectory of our nation's history. Now, and I know for a fact that Black women, because I've talked to them, I go into their churches, I've spoken to them, I know they're frustrated with the politics of the left. I know they're frustrated with the abortion issue. I know they don't understand it, but they're too polarized by fear to do anything with that frustration. And that this is a point where my call to action is this: get over the fear. Focus on the frustration and just take one step. And what an everyday American woman can do is take a step into the polls and vote your values. Walk into the polls and just vote your values. I'm not running around with a bag full of MAGA hats, right? I have MAGA hats, I have MAGA shoes, but I'm not trying to run around and throw MAGA hats at everyone. What I'm telling you is pay attention to what your elected officials are voting for. For instance, if you have a 12-year-old daughter, and you don't want her to be able to get an abortion without your knowledge and consent, whether you believe in it or not, whatever side of the political aisle that you're on, if you cannot look at me in the eye and tell me you're okay with your 13-year-old daughter skipping out on dinner and you're thinking she's just being emotional again, right? And she's actually upstairs laying in her bed bleeding out a baby. Process that, bleeding out a baby without your knowledge and consent. If you're not okay with that, vote against that. Why are you voting for elected officials that are making that okay? Vote for the laws, vote for the rules, vote for the regulations that will provide a healthy environment for your child and your children's children and their children to thrive in. And I guarantee you this one thing, and I tell people this all the time: if you vote what feels right, it'll be a vote for the right. And I won't have to tell you what side of the political aisle you're on. You'll be standing right on the right side with me. I hope I answered your question.
No, you really did answer. I you know, it's very clear to me, right?
Right.
Black women walk very, and one step at a time, from what I understand. Tell me a little bit more just about the spiritual battle that you're seeing and what that is.
I personally believe that. Okay, this is what I believe. I was trying to figure out a nice way to say it, but I'll just say it. I personally believe that Obama sat in the White House for 8 years, and stitch by stitch, he unstitched the moral fiber of our country. literally one executive order at a time. Look at the history of his executive orders. They all had a moral impact on our nation. And then we looked up and we didn't even realize that we were at war when we were fighting those battles. He weaved these things into everything, into our health care bills, into every single thing.
What would be an example of this, unstitching one?
Okay, when Obama came out and said that he was in support of gay marriage, I am absolutely fine with what you do in your bedroom. That's what you do in your bedroom. But what happened with the gay marriage bill is the gay marriage bill exploded, and now we have people who are losing custody of their children because they will not let them get a sex change, and they're minors. So it just imploded. We didn't see what was coming. We didn't pay attention, and that's what he did. And it was a spiritual warfare, and that's how the devil works. The devil doesn't just kick the door in and throw gasoline on you. The devil comes into your home in the middle of the night, and he gets into your kids' heads, and he gets into your wife's head, and he gets into your husband's head, and he gets into your friend's head, and he does little things to start messing with you. And if you're weak, he waits until that one moment where he finds you slipping and you're not paying attention, and you, bam, he's won. And that's why as Christians, we have to be vigilant and we have to pay attention. And we cannot allow the media to continue to keep us distracted. And that's what happened during the Obama administration. We were so distracted that we didn't actually see what he was doing. And now we looked up. And what are we to do now? All we can do is we can pray and we can pray and we can pray. And those of us that did, our prayers were answered. And they gave us Donald Trump. They gave us a man that will literally get in the mud and fight. I like to think of him like Mike Tyson. Remember Mike Tyson bit that guy's ear off?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
That's Donald Trump. He'll bite your ear off and he won't apologize for it. And that's why I do everything I can. I don't have a voice right now because I'm screaming for Trump. I'm screaming for my nation. And I love the fact that he loves us enough to do the dirty work. I love the fact that he issued a state of emergency. I was excited, and that's why, those of us, we were so excited about it that we rallied in front of his home, in front of the White House, with huge signs letting him know that we were completely in support of him. And I, took the day off and marched from the Capitol in the rain. And, black women, we don't like to get our hair wet, so I took that one for the team. But when you ask me why do I say that, all you have to do is look around. Just all you have to do is turn on the TV. I took a bunch of moms down to the border with another organization and sat down in the border town in McAllen and spoke to mothers down there. I spoke to a mom whose 6-year-old daughter can't sleep in her princess bed because illegal aliens are banging on the window at 3 a.m. in the morning trying to use the phone. I spoke to a mom who had to shut down her pool. This is a person who came to America legally, worked hard, bought a home, put a pool in for her kids, and had to shut the pool down because illegal aliens are defecating in it. If you tell me we don't need a wall, and I know we're talking about so many issues, but if you tell me we don't need a wall, and you've never looked into the eyes of an angel mom or an angel dad, and I hate to say the pleasure because it's really a displeasure, but I have the pleasure of calling several of them my personal friends. But if you never looked into their eyes, and you've never looked into the eyes of a mom who tells you that she was cutting her grass at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and was confronted by 5 men in her bushes, if you haven't seen that fear, then you don't get a voice. And the message that I have about the wall is that Congress needs to stop playing political chicken with the safety and the peace of mind of tax-paying American citizens and their children. And they need to stop playing political chicken with the safety and the peace of mind of the moms on the other side of the border. I've crossed the border. I've gone over there, and I've spoken to a mom who hasn't heard from her daughter. She sent her daughter. She admits that she paid someone to take her. It's been 7 months. She does not know where her daughter is. Her daughter is probably laying in a river somewhere. If you saw the footage from our press conference, Dr. Alma told the story of the 6-year-old girl that was found on the border right along the pipeline, and she had the DNA of 30-something men inside of her when they airlifted her to the Milton Army Hospital. So I don't have to tell you how I know that we're in a spiritual warfare, because the evidence is all around you. Obama likes to take credit for the economy. The only thing Obama can take credit for is the destruction of the moral fiber of our nation. That's exactly what he did. He came in and he created complete chaos and anarchy and left a millionaire. and it's disgusting.
So I want to jump back to taking one step at a time.
Harriet Tubman, that's the most famous example, right? She was a black woman. She was frustrated. She was afraid. And she got up and said, you know what, I'm just going to, I don't know how or why. And she got up and she took a step, and along the way, not just other black women, but white women. And it was that movement was primarily run by women. But these women pulled themselves together. They pulled people into their homes at night, you know. They dragged their husbands along with them. and they did it. And because of Harriet Tubman, I'm sitting here today. I can't think of a better example. In fact, when I thought of this movement, that's who I was thinking about. She was not too polarized by fear to act on her frustration. She focused on the frustration. She created a movement. She was the original grassroots activist, right?
Incredible, inspiring story. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Aisha.